The U.S. Department of Justice has charged 2 Russian spies and 2 criminal hackers hired by Russians in the hack of 500 million Yahoo accounts back in 2014. Officials say the charges include hacking, wire fraud, trade secret theft, and economic espionage. Now, the hack not only exposed user information, including passwords, but endangered Yahoo's sale to Verizon and then brought the price of Yahoo down by $350 million. The DOJ says there was no link between these hackers and the probe into a possible hack of the U.S. elections last fall. So they have reason to believe that this was Russian FSB security agents and a pair of hackers. And this is really the first case where they seem to have evidence of cyber mercenaries, as they're calling them. What do you think, Nate?
I wonder why folks still have Yahoo accounts on one basis. I mean, you know, it's kind of tough because Yahoo has a history of not really being the best choice when it comes to security. But this is clearly something that looks like an outside attack, definitely something a bit more malicious than maybe the things they've gone through in the past. And it has real business consequences for them. So the timing couldn't be much better, though, given all the sorts of reports and things we're seeing about Russian influence in terms of cyber crimes on lots of different institutions in the United States, whether it's businesses or politics. So it's fascinating, and of course it's affecting, you know, what they're doing with Verizon. I do wonder, you know, how much more Yahoo's going to come out and say about this until that Verizon deal is done, because it's already denting a lot of stuff that they got going on.
Yeah, that's kind of
careful territory for them, right?
Totally. That's kind of what I was wondering, especially around the idea that, okay, so your company's been hacked, no doubt about it, no matter what. It's a ton of user accounts that were obviously, you know, that were vulnerable to this. So that's bad. But then when you find out that it's state-sponsored hacks, does that elevate it to a new level? Does that affect the value of Yahoo? Maybe it won't in the sale of Verizon, but I mean, does that take on more importance, more precedence around the company's value?
Yeah, I think you know, what matters a ton here is what consumers think of it, what regular users think of it. And lo and behold, we're here in March Madness. You know, folks are filling out their brackets on Yahoo. They're making those family bets and wagers on you know, the NCAA basketball tournament. And when you're thinking of Yahoo for basketball, and now you're thinking of the Russian hack too. And so that can kind of take away that uneasiness. Isn't a great feeling on the consumer side. And so when that consumer reputation takes a hit, it has to have a business consequence, right? So yeah, I think these things go hand in hand. You know, what the long-term effects will be, we'll see, because Yahoo hasn't really lost a tremendous amount of users despite going through similar situations, not necessarily with Russian ties, in the past. So, you know, that kind of remains to be seen, but it's definitely not good stuff for them.
When you asked who still has a Yahoo account, my mom, and she's a lovely lady. Now that you work here, I'll introduce you to her.
Looking forward to that.
Okay. A lot of people,
You can ask her
I
why
know,
she
it's
still
like,
has a Yahoo account.
I know, it sounds like you really want to meet someone with who has a Yahoo account. She's still married to my dad, so
I still have a Yahoo account. I don't use it.
You have a Yahoo account?
I still have a Yahoo account.
But one of the things that happened in this break-in was that it not only, you know, they got access to a lot of Gmail accounts too, which means people are using the same passwords,
same logins,
and so yeah, those people that were like, oh, I'm too smart to have a Yahoo account, I'll move to a Gmail account, but they weren't smart enough to change their password.
Well, when you're talking about these numbers, though, you know, 500 million or however many it was, I mean, no matter what, out of that gigantic net of people, you are going to find people that are using multiple, you know, passwords and IDs and all that across services.
Yeah,
and probably a lot of them.
One of the things that I really hope comes out of all of this is just more transparency and being quicker about things, regardless of the Russia connections. It took Yahoo years for us to find out about these sorts of things, right? And I think that's just maybe a little bit too late now. Of course, I think we all know, and we have said on multiple opportunities, that you need to be on top of your passwords, use a password manager if you can, really stay on top of this stuff and take it serious. And it's easy to take that for granted, especially if you have multiple accounts across the internet. It's easy to use one password, and it's tempting. But hopefully this gets Yahoo to maybe be a little bit more upfront when these things do happen, so people can change their passwords.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.